Hello book fans, welcome back to this channel. I read this book, Pushkin Hills by Sergei, I don't know how to pronounce this second name, Dovlatov, или Dovlatov. So a friend gave me this book for the New Year, as a New Year gift. That's what Russian people do. They don't celebrate Christmas, they celebrate New Year and they give gifts on New Year. So my friend knows that I enjoy reading and she gave me this. So on first look I thought it's going to be great because I like the kind of short first person sentences. And the voice was good as I got into it. But then I kind of quickly rushed through it. I didn't really enjoy it. It didn't really hook me in. I don't feel like I have a lot to say about this book in particular. It's kind of like the comparison of a Russian Charles Bukowski, in the sense that it just runs through some general course of events in a first-person voice. He's a drunk alcoholic. He speaks a lot about his relationship with his wife. And it's about the period of time which he worked as a tour guide at Pushkin Hills. On the blurb, it says, the themes of the novel are debt, relationship with his wife, creative work, and the state. These are the very same problems which were plaguing Pushkin, who was exiled to Mikhailovskaya 150 years earlier. Mikhailovskaya is the place where Pushkin Hills are, the Pushkin exhibition which was in this book. So apparently it runs in parallel with Pushkin's life, and that's why it's an enjoyable read. I don't really know enough or much about Pushkin in order to make a fair commentary about that. So perhaps that's why I didn't enjoy it. Somebody who has read this book, somebody left a comment on my channel the other day that said one of my reviews was myopic and dumb. Somebody might also say that this review is myopic and dumb because I'm going to talk about the plot of the book and how I didn't enjoy it, and it was quite just a rambling book. Of course, the author probably was making many points about different themes of life over the course of this story, but I totally missed out on them, I guess because I'm just not really into trivial things, which is why I want to start getting more into adventure writing. And I've been thinking this lately, that really this type of self-autobiographical work, and I'm writing a book at the moment which is self-autobiographical, and I'll be the first to admit that the reason that I got into writing was because I wanted to tell my story. Now I'm thinking, how selfish is that? I mean, I'm the type of guy that looks on Instagram and looks on Facebook, and even when I'm walking around on the street, I watch people taking selfies, and I go, selfies, selfish, it's like who really cares, right? Like when I see somebody's selfie on Facebook, I just scroll past it. Why? Who are you? And coming from a Buddhist point of view, in a Buddhist perspective, we should try to lose that egoism. We should try to lose the egoism, and we should try to look after other people, be compassionate to other people, because that's what life is really about. And if you read the Walt Whitman poem, What Thou Shalt Do, I think it's called What Thou Shalt Do, says, you give alms to other people. Dedicate your income, dedicate your life to other people. This is what you should be doing. Will change your life. So lately I've been thinking that these self-autobiographical novels are just basically selfies in literature form, which is put me off writing anything like that, even though I'm currently working on a self-autobiographical novel and I do want to finish it. I definitely feel that at this point in my writing career I'm moving away, and I say writing career, but who knows, maybe I'll just take off to Africa and go and teach English to children who really need it. But anyway, it is just a literary selfie, isn't it? And so I'm feeling a huge pull away from that. As I really like Charles Bukowski, but I'm definitely feeling like I need to put Charles Bukowski down, put self-autobiographical novels down, and move on. And I also, confession to make, really need to learn Russian because, I live in Russia. So that's something that is becoming an extreme priority in my life, is getting a grip on that language. So I need to start reading in Russian. So I was thinking maybe I can start reading Jack London in Russian. I also really want to read Journey to the Centre of the Earth. I think that would be a great, interesting book to read. Because another thing about self-autobiographical novels that I think that I've noticed is that they'll come from kind of a depressive view, someone with a lot of struggles. Now, if you're the type of person that has an interesting story in real life, and when I say like an interesting story, I think the best one would be like the example of the Cinderella story, which Kurt Vonnegut spoke about, whereas you basically start with total ill fortune and you gradually kind of try and work your way through the struggles to the top. And that would be the plot line. It's Cinderella. She starts, no parents, living with her evil stepmother, cleaning the floors, and throughout the course of the story she comes into luck, and at the end she meets her prince and lives happily ever after. So that's the Cinderella story that, if you notice, a lot of stories follow. Harry Potter is a Cinderella story because it starts with him, no parents, living in the basement of his aunt and uncle who are relatively evil. Then he comes into luck, realises he's a wizard, and then works on his skills, becomes an amazing wizard, and defeats Voldemort, who is the Lord of all evil. Saves the world. Cinderella story. So people love these stories, so these stories are, they're interesting to read. If you didn't come from it's like even if you listen to a lot of rappers and rap stars, the stories that they rap about coming from the Bronx, right? Or their mum's dying, their fathers walking out on them when they were at a young age. So they're coming from places of really ill fortune and rapping about it and working themselves to the top of the hip-hop charts. It's a Cinderella story. As a middle-class white man, I do not have such a story. And that is why my self-autobiographical fiction is really not as interesting as somebody who came from a place of extreme misfortune, tried to get themselves out of it. So in essence, if you did come from a place of extreme misfortune, write about it, because it will make an interesting story. But everybody else who comes from a place of, kind of doing all right, not going to make an interesting story. I mean, that's my current opinion. Leave your comments below. Tell me what you think about that, because I'm totally open to discuss it, because I might be wrong. I'm not saying I'm right. those are my thoughts on autobiographical fiction, semi-autobiographical fiction at the moment, and the path I'm going to take. I've got 2 more books to read in English, but I'm going to start reading in Russian, and I'm going to go down the path of adventure fiction. I've got 1 more book to read, actually, that I'm reading at the moment, Charles Dickens, which is self-autobiographical. It's David Copperfield. I thought I'd read that, try and absorb as much self-autobiographical fiction as I can, because that's what I'm writing, but I think I'm kind of going to move away from that into kind of adventure fiction. But I've got to finish off David Copperfield, The Glass Bead Game by Hermann Hesse. It's just a book someone lent me. It's not self-autobiographical. And the same a book someone lent me, Knut Hampson, Growth of the Soil. So these are 3 books in English that I will be reading and then reviewing on this channel in time to come. But also I'm going to start reading in Russian. I'll still be reviewing books, only I'll be reading them in Russian. So I might be reviewing some picture books, but I have to, this is the course that my life is going down, and I must accept it. So, sorry, just to link it back to Pushkin Hills. Drunk alcoholic, problems with wife, works in a Pushkin museum, apparently linked to the events in Pushkin's life also. I wouldn't recommend it because, as for me, I've read enough about women, alcohol and work, and I fancy reading something else. I would like to get absorbed in an adventure story. So, if you're still into those things, give it a go, you might like it. But if also you're yearning for something more fantastical, like I am, let's try to find something else. See you later.